Yes, good morning. The training ball. Which training ball? The black one or the small white one? Thank you for the likes, everybody. Yeah, the small one is a baseball. That one is very easy to hang up in the condo or apartment because you just need a screw with the circle. Okay, with a small loop. You just twist it up and then you hang the baseball on it because it doesn't weigh that much. Mm. Then you may able to install it on the trim on the above the door. Okay, not the baseboard but the trim on top, maybe there. But at the same time it's just a small hole which you can patch up with you just get dry decks, you know, the drywall composition, just a tiny bit. You can't even see the hole. Maybe you can even use tape because the baseball is not heavy. When I lived in the condo, I hung it up on the trim on top. I taped it. I duct taped it, and it was a tennis ball, but it still served the purpose. So you can put that up so you don't damage it. Well, this channel is mostly about martial arts, along with herbs, qigong, breathing, health, overall wellness. What way? Well, first of all, this is hardening skill. 5 elements hardening skill. So it's for, of course, martial application, but there's a lot more benefits because the blood and the chi gets drawn to the hand. So more blood flow, more power, your grip strength. Okay, when you grab, especially in kung fu, very important. Especially if you do RMT or any kind of massage, this will benefit because of the pressure in your finger tendons as well. But mainly, it's just for hardening. So thank you, brother. I appreciate that. I'm also opening, or I have opened a membership. I will be posting videos soon because people keep asking, how do you start Iron Fist training? And obviously, you don't start it with a granite block. So I will be posting videos on that and many other things. Limb conditioning for beginner martial artists. So you don't have to worry about spraining, fracturing, or breaking. How to take care of your ligaments, your tendons, your nerves, your smaller bones, the capillaries, okay, the blood vessels. How to increase muscle fascia. specifically on the earth element or the stone, over 2 years now. But hardening skills in general, 4 or 5 years with the wood. So you keep building. You go from wood to earth, and then finally you have iron. No, I'm not at iron yet. Iron, each element takes 2 3 years actually, and the earth element takes even more. It takes 4. So I'm actually quite content on doing this because this is already a higher level. Because even the Wing Chun people, their highest level is wood, and even then, their hands aren't even conditioned. Maybe their forearms. That's about it. They'll have a wall bag filled with rice or beans maybe, and that's about it. They don't go further than that. And I started with Wing Chun, so there's no hardening skill there, unfortunately. If somebody's already hitting some kind of cotton bag with rice or beans or anything, or you're doing knuckle push-ups on bricks, I already made a video on how to make basic liniment, herbal liniment, or dit da yao for the beginner martial artist. So people can go check that out. You can make your own medicine for your hands. No, brother, I'm not in UFC. This is just my lifelong passion. Thank you guys for the likes. I appreciate it. Yeah, that's a mace bow. 360 swing. That is amazing. Just that movement. But you start off very light. Start off, that's a 15 pound. That's what I started off on. Start off 10, 15 pounds because even just holding it up this way, just holding it up erect, this is a workout for your core stabilizers, your entire wrist, forearm, and grip strength. Trains your grip strength and grip endurance because you constantly are tightening as you're moving. You have to keep a grip. Trains your rotational strength, ups your heart rate the more reps you start doing. So it's a cardio, strength, power all in one. Especially if you're in wrestling, you're over the shoulder, judo, whatever, sambo. It's all relevant. This tool was used to prepare people for war in ancient times, so I think it's pretty relevant to combat sports. You see, just to hold it, just here, you see everything is activated. Okay, and then just to even go one and back. Everything is activated. Sad people. You're funny. No, brother, I'm not self-taught. I trained in gyms before. I started with Wing Chun, and then in the basement, there's a brown belt jiu-jitsu instructor. He had lessons. I had my first introduction to BJJ, a little Taekwondo because there was a second degree black belt Taekwondo at the gym as well. I trained there for 2 years. Actually, at the end of that, I started to go into Jeet Kune Do as well, which Jeet Kune Do is amazing because even just the pendulum footwork, just being here, coming back, and then the little low kick, the side low kick, where you can work it off here, and then move back. And then from there, I went to Muay Thai because I was tired of not having the real experience. In Wing Chun, most schools, they don't spar. Where I went, we had contact. There was contact, but you're not sparring with Muay Thai or kickboxers, so you still don't know how they operate. And I needed to know, so I went to Muay Thai, got my ass kicked, went into the ring. Yeah, that's where I learned how to low kick, how to use your elbow, use your limbs, what it means to get punched in the face, what it means to get dropped. I've never been KO'd, but I've been dropped, and that's important, man. Knowing what a body kick feels like, what a leg kick feels like, very important. From there, I went deeper into kickboxing. There was a cool gym called Combative Concepts in Scarborough. If anybody's from Scarborough, GTA, you guys know that gym. That guy, he knew a lot of stuff. Forget his name, Frank or John. Forget the guy's name. He's a short Italian guy, but this guy knew sambo, kickboxing, boxing, Muay Thai, Kali. He had the stick fighting, but that's not where I learned the sticks from. But right, he had the stick fighting, so I always wanted to learn the stick fighting too. So yeah, I got more sparring experience there, so, and then from there I utilize everything I know into making my own gym and practicing and cultivating that. Where I am now, I combine all those things, and I learned also monkey boxing. So that's my little story. Yeah, you need to know. The majority of kung fu guys, they don't know what it is to actually fight. It's very important. Very important to get that real experience, man. Steve, that was his name. Combative Concepts. You forgot his name. Steve. Cool guy, man. I love sambo. You showed me some sambo, some heel hooks. That's one of my favorite. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, man. Like, I remember there was a guy there. He was a TD bank accountant, but this guy was in my face sparring. So this guy was actually trying to learn how to actually box. So there's people that you never think of. They're already conditioned to get punched in the face, and they're quiet. They're quiet, and they have experience. So that was an interesting experience. Right now, I'm just not close to the gym. I live out in the country, and that might change. But end of the day, I have my weapons and my equipment, my arsenal, my skills, and I just build off that. Where am I? I'm in Southwest Ontario, close to London. That's fun. Well, what do you mean? It's known as combat sports. I'm not sure what you mean though. Because boxing is a sport, MMA is a sport, mixed martial arts. Thank you for the likes, everyone. I appreciate it. Yeah, exactly. Everyone has their own. Everyone thinks MMA is boxing, BJJ, Muay Thai. There's many more. Thank you. We all have the potential. It just takes a little work, dedication. No, these are not Thai sticks. These are aluminum. And it's not Kali, it's not Arnis. I learned this this is more Southern Shaolin based. This is where I had my second Wing Chun Sifu. He was very well taught in various martial arts systems, weapon systems. So when you go, I have old footage with him. When you go to his studio, he has all the stuff: the Shaolin, the spears, the javelins, the swords, the sticks, of course. So it's a little bit more different style because the Arnis and Kali, they hold their stick right at the end, if you notice, to get maximum distance. But we hold it here for a blocking emergency and for this to act like an elbow. If I miss with the long attack, I have this. I have this. See, I can 1, 2, and then continue the attack. I did that instinctively. I don't know why. Well, maybe you've seen it somewhere. Maybe it was like that movie Limitless. The guy's like, I don't know how to fight. Or do I? The pendulum step is very good because it's deceptive. It's almost like you're just bouncing back and forth like a boxer, but you're doing this. Tick-tock. That's one way. So from here, if the person advances, I can move back really quickly. If the person retreats and I'm chasing him, I can come back here. So when I'm spinning here, this is a perfect setup for the low kick, for the thigh. Right, if I'm here, see, very deceptive. Or whatever, you can even incorporate a knee from here, right, if I'm here. Whatever you want to do. The second one, the second kind of pendulum is just, I'm just here. I'm not doing this. But this one is more like you might be running around. Boom. Very, very effective. Very good, actually. So this is not thigh stick. I understand. Yeah, because it can be confusing. Jumping around here, and the guy doesn't know what's going on. Yeah, it's fun. Just never make something predictable. Don't do the same thing over and over again. That's another thing. That's a solid oak bow staff. So you got to be very careful not to. That's what your coach should say as well. Never throw the same attack twice, or at least consecutively twice. You can use it again. But see, that's why I love the Wing Chun, the Jeet Kune Do took this as well. When you have your pendulum step here, this is also a pendulum step. I don't have to do this. I can have my normal footwork here, back, boom. Right, that's a pendulum step. I move back. Right. I kick off either from the back foot, or you can start with the front. Right. A small detail is if you kick off the back foot first and you throw your, this is south palm, the camera's inverted. Right hand, left hand. I kick off my left hand, the back foot, sorry. Boom, there's more power in the left hand. So you guys can try that out as well. Gaming with Nishan. Yeah, bro, what's going on? Yeah, thanks for the likes, everybody. Just remember also, I have memberships open. Anybody interested in learning the beginning of Iron Fist, Iron Palm training, okay? To develop your tendons, ligaments, protect your blood vessels, muscle capillaries, small bones, microfractures in your hands and your wrists. Very important. Also, shin conditioning. The oblique kick is another great kick. What they call the oblique kick. Here. Right, this is from Kung Fu. It's just known as a low side kick. You can kick it to the person's thigh, or even to the solar plex. Here. Stomp the heel. Right, so if I teep, and it's very deceptive because it's not like a front kick. I'm here and I raise my knee. You see me raise my knee and kick. This one comes like, see, very hard to see, especially to the foot. Amazing technique. What's going on, guys? Something to put on the belt. Beginner practice in kickboxing. There's all kinds of advice. You gotta specify. What are you trying to work on? Let's start there. Do you have your stance? How long have you been training? A month, 3 months? Yeah, it's a bit frowned upon because people first laughed at it because it was a kung fu move. The first person to introduce that actually wasn't John Jones. First person to do that was Anderson Silva. And the kick that he does is from the second form of Wing Chun, Chum Kyu. Right, when the people do this, they go here and they go, that's the kick. But to here. It's a very dangerous kick. You know, and it's frowned upon now because you see the consequences, you see the damage it can bring. And it works. I was sparring one time a guy who was 6'1", 6'1", and as soon as he moved, subconsciously, I just kicked him right in the thigh, and as soon as he was about to move the knee, it buckled. And if I really just stomped on it, his knee could have popped out, right? So when I kicked it, he went, oh, and I'm like, no, we can't use that anymore. It's a very good kick. You keep going off balance. I'd have to see. I can't. Mr. Gaming, you asked any advice. Be more specific. Yeah. So you're trying to work on your leg kicks, but you're off balance. I gotta see, because what are you doing wrong? The power comes from the fact that I'm on my toes mostly, the front foot, right? So if I'm here, right, the the foot has to balance. So you have to work on maybe pad work, maybe shadow boxing. If I'm here, boom, boom, I can learn to just twist and turn and balance yourself. Boom, boom. But you gotta balance on your toes. The basics are exactly a good 1-2 can end the fight. Exactly, go back to the basics. Because how I was taught the leg kick is you step. First you step. You can be flat-footed. When I say on your toes, that's where the real power and the twisting of the hips comes from. But just being flat on your toe, on your whole foot, just balance and practice like that. Right? Don't make it fancy. From here, make sure I'm good. And then you can add the being on your toes, because there's different powers. Look, this is flat. And then this is on the toes. So you can add more torque, more power. How do you defend a leg kick, brother? Your coaches, you said you're a beginner in your training. That's one of the first things you learn, the check kick. Check your kick. Right, when you do warm-ups in Muay Thai, they have you do this. Or at least they had me do that. Right, you do your running man, and you do these, and then you can move around like this. Check the leg kick. Leg kick is coming. Shin or knee pointing outward. Toes not out. Toes in. Okay, you never want your toes to be like this, because if he kicks your toe's done. Toes in. And hand up. Okay. That's for the outside. The inside is different. The inside, you put your knee in. Make sure you block with the top part. Jump back is also the number one distance is not blocking. The number one defense is not blocking. The number one defense is distance. Footwork. Footwork gets you in and out. Right? Just to not be there, exactly. 100%. But again, if you're training at a gym, you should have either the coach, the assistant coach, or a high senior student. They should do pad works with you as well. They should throw you a kick slowly, right? You should defend it. Get used to that. Footwork is like a form of kata. No, footwork is footwork. I can't say anything. Kata, what is kata? Why are you doing the kata? You're standing there, you're doing your punches, your blocks. Kata is for fight sequence. Okay, you're training techniques in a rhythmic way. I'm not a karateka, by the way, so if there's any real karatekas, you can interject. But I love karate. But yeah, it's for sequence, rhythm, getting into the flow. There's certain katas that they do for energy as well, especially the Goju Ryo, maybe Kyokushin, for internal energy, just like Kung Fu with the Chi. They call it Ki, right? Oh, you're trying to learn it. That's different. If you're trying to learn self-taught, you'll never get the feeling. And it's dangerous because if you don't get the feeling and then you go in the ring or you think you can fight with somebody that actually does that, then does Chi really exist? That is a good question. Chi has been studied in the West for a minimal time span, but it has been understood in the East for over 5,000 years. And one thing I'll say is we don't just have oxygen in the air. When we breathe, we're not just breathing oxygen. They have found magnetic and electrical energy in our field. That's what Nikola Tesla was tapping into, right? He could produce energy from the ground called geoenergy. So there's magnetic and electric energy, and that's what it is, right? And truly, magnetic and electric, they're just two polar opposites of each other. It's just energy. So when you're breathing in and you're actually practicing the microcosmic orbit, that's what they call it. Okay, it's a channel. You have two channels, the water road and then the fire road up the spine, up the head. It's like a conductor. You start conducting energy. That is what chi is all about. Okay, and you can understand that chi, the monks, the fighting monks, the real fighting monks, they have real chi. They utilize real chi. I'm not talking about the McDojos. Okay, the fantasy realm. If anybody wants to see real kung fu, type in Jiang Yushan. Okay, Jiangyushan. Monkey master of Taiwan. You'll see some real old school kung fu. Nigeria is in the house. Distance and range management. No, I didn't explain that actually. Nobody asked. That which you're talking about is known as sexual kung fu. Do you know Mantak Chia? No, not sexual kung fu. That is something else. We're not dealing with. We deal with sexual transmutation, right? In Shaolin discipline, right? Especially when we're doing hardening skills, when I'm hitting the rock, the stone, you have to have semen retention. Okay, you have to, because that is your fuel source, that is your energy, that is the spark of life, if we're being quite frank. So you have to keep that. The Y crew. Yes, exactly. And that's why the monks, they have something called Chan Buddhism, when they sit on the ground and they meditate, what they call meditation, because after 20 minutes or so, with proper breathing technique, you enter from alpha to beta and theta waves, which is where your creativity, okay, that flow state comes in, along with health benefits, of course, inflammation and whatnot. Search. The brain is dead. Yep. Yeah. So I think that is enough for today. Thank you for the likes, everybody. Again, thank you very much. Hope you work on yourselves. Aim to be better. Once again, I have memberships open. I will be posting up soon. And stay tuned if you want some real kung fu. Okay, guys? Take care. Thank you for the likes.